I'm at the home of Elaine Seaman, who's a quilter, she's a poet. If you've ever seen a quilt hanging on a wall and wondered, what's the story behind that? Or read a poem and it really touched you, gonna talk to Elaine and find out exactly where her inspiration comes from. Well, we moved up to Elaine's studio where the quilt making magic happens, right? It's where it all begins, it's where it all ends. And I love this quilt. First thing I saw was this. I said, what's that?
That's me. And that little strip there has to do with me and my beginnings. I was born on Christmas Day. There are a lot of Christmas fabrics in there. There's an angel there, stars. And then I was born in Iowa, and this is a fabric that's called Wild Rose, which is the state flower of Iowa.
It tells a story, right?
That you wouldn't know that.
No.
I know that. That's why I did it.
Yeah, yeah.
This is a very personal quilt.
Sometimes your quilts and your poems have the same title or name. How did it cross over, I guess?
Well, I was always amazed that you could not copyright a title. So I right now could write a book entitled War and Peace, and nobody could have anything to say about that. I don't think they would look it up online and find, but I could do it.
Right.
And I have given my quilts pretty good titles. And it dawned on me that those would be good titles for poems too. And so I started writing poems using the same title that I had given a quilt.
I love it. Tell me about the whole quilt.
Well, this is not like my other quilts. This is a very different approach to, and it's called Quilt As You Go. This is something that you are putting the 3 layers together. This is what the back looks like. And you have your backing and your batting inside, and you lay your pieces down on top and then keep sewing a piece on top of that piece. So for instance, here I probably started out with these sewn together and then put it down, and then had to sew this piece onto this piece onto those 2 pieces, this onto those, and then I kept working my way around. And I didn't measure anything. This was just a way of arranging, knowing in my mind what I was after, and that was my home house. This is my parents' house.
In Iowa?
In Mount Carmel, Iowa. It's not just Iowa, it's Mount Carmel, Iowa, which of course had 100 people. 10% of them were in my family. And very few houses, but the things it did have was my dad's garage, the school, the church.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And the graveyard, where we played hide and seek at night.
And when I saw this, it kind of reminds me of Starry, Starry Night.
Yes. Now the background on that is I made pants for my son out of that. But that's what you didn't need to know that.
Elaine, when you're working, what does that look like? Are you alone? Do you have music playing? Is it quiet? Where's your mind at?
I am alone. I have a studio upstairs, and I suppose it was one time just called a sewing room, but I call it my studio. And there is one, believe it or not, it's a tape, not a CD or anything. It's a tape I listen to, and the group is called Nightingale, and it's always, there's something about it that makes my head move into the direction of design. Yeah. And I don't know why the music works, it just does. I can listen to other music too, and when I'm just sewing seams together, I mean, it doesn't matter then. But if I'm designing, I prefer to listen to that.
And is it stressful when you're working, or is it relaxing?
Sometimes it's downright fun. I can laugh, especially if I'm just putting fabrics together that I wouldn't have expected.
Right.
And that's fun. You go, oh, I didn't know that was going to work, but look at that works. I like that.
And then where did you get the idea for these little screws to connect it up? I've never seen it before.
The right idea was how important my dad's garage was for us and the town.
Why is that?
Well, because he was my dad, and there was my dad's garage, there's Lee's store, the church and the school, and a tavern. That's it in the whole town. So it was a place people hung out and talked and so on. But these are the nuts that go with screws, and so it has this sort of double meaning because it has to do with holding things together, but they're nuts. That would describe the people from this house.
I didn't think that's what you were going to say. I really didn't.
And yeah, I don't think anybody...
And there's little nuts and there's bigger nuts,
Little nuts
right?
and big nuts, you betcha. And it was a mathematical problem. I had to make sure that the distance from here to here was the same as the distance from here to here and here to here. And sometimes it was more of a matter of, okay, this has to be where the big nuts go because I need to have that space.
And I was hoping that you might be able to pick out a poem and either read all of it or some of it.
The one that's on the wall is called Humble Beginnings. It should let you know where I came from. Blacktop Road, more red than black. It is Iowa, after all. Slow incline past cornfields, always cornfields, always and always cornfields. Past the new subdivision of 7 houses where farm widows and widowers trade histories. Past the store with bar, more beer than bread, where Lee laughed with farmers and smoked his deadly cigarettes. Past the tall pines by the church. What do they keep whispering, yelling, insinuating? Go away? Stay? The 4-way stop signs. No one comes from north or south. No one to wait for except those lingering at the cemetery. Down the western slope, more of a bump than a hill, to the southern estate, the jumble of used cars and broken tractors, campers and bikes. The geranium beds needing to be weeded. But the draw is there, in the laughter from the front porch, in the smell of the grill on the brick patio, in the quick hugs and the similar eyes, in the sunset using the whole western sky to show off.
I feel like I visited Iowa. That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. Well, thank you so much for talking with me here today, Elaine Seaman.
Thank you.
So it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Support for Kalamazoo Lively Arts is provided by the Irving S. Gilmore Foundation, helping to build and enrich the cultural life of Greater Kalamazoo.